All right, and welcome back to the 2018, or well, spring 2018 Creators of the Storm tournament. I am Bahamut, one of your hosts, and with me is Styxa. How was your little break?
It was good. I got to eat. It was good. I'm happy. I'm full, and I'm ready to cast the other half of the semifinals here. Should be good.
Yes. So we're going to be getting the Geeks of Gank versus Trollin Blizz, and I gotta say, this is going to be really interesting. We have the Gank Bush squad with also the Geeks of Azeroth on Geeks of Gank. And then on Troll and Blizz, we actually have, looks like we have Troll and HGC Weekly Blizz, and also Nexus Trolls, Troll GG, BlizzPro.com. I mean, we've got content creators from all around, but I love this. And we're going to be getting into a phenomenal first game. We're going to be going to Sky Temple, but it's only going to be all supports.
And you know, we just saw this in the reverse draft, and look how it played out. But now what happens when all 10 heroes are support? Now, keep in mind, these heroes are there's a limited amount of heroes, of course, for the support. So I'm expecting you're gonna need damage. I'm expecting to see a Karazim pickup. I'm expecting to see a Tyrande. Cav was talking about this. Tyrande just stacks indefinitely.
Oh yeah. Now, the other thing, too, is we have to also consider point control, because when you look at it like let's look at like Stukov. Like, if, we're going to be fighting over these beacons on Sky Temple here. So you're going to need to kind of zone some people, split them. I think Stukov might be the priority for a little bit of control. Maybe you look into the Alexstrasza. The dragon form is insanely good for situations like this. You can get, you can put out a healing circle and go dragon form, get the second healing circle. You also have the flame buffet, and it just overall, I mean, I think there's a phenomenal pool of healers that we have. Considered, like, if we were to look at this like a year ago, I mean, these games are just like, oh, are we going to have enough healers, or who's going to get kind of like, going to be forced into playing that last healer that isn't banned or picked. And at this point, we have a full roster that we can really get interesting with.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the last casters of the, Creators of the Storm. And apparently Bloodlust Stimdrone Archon was a absolute monster. So if we're looking at this now, I think we're looking at Tassadar and Tyrande bans.
Oh, that's not a bad idea at all. I mean, we did, you did mention the Tyrande, how strong she can be. The other thing too is though.
Oh yes, no bans. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked over and I was like, all right, once we get through this, I'll mention.
All mixed up. He was talking about this banning them out, and so now I'm all on the ban train. But no bans, no bans.
To be fair,
first pick, second pick, bam.
This is it's not something we're used to at all. Catching no ban drafts. This will be interesting to see how we're gonna fly through this. And realistically, it's gonna be more of trying to get the things that I think your team needs the best. But we're going to get into this onto Sky Temple this draft, and on the left we are going to have the Geeks of Gank, and on the right we have Troll and Blizz.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I forgot that there was no bans. We're going to get right off into the picks, like right away here. And Geeks of Gank looking to take first pick here. Tassadar, Tyrande, this is what we were saying before. I think they have to be there. There you go. Tassadar.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and grab that right away.
Wave clear, immunity, damage negation. Just it's a lot of just good overall. You bring like a decent kit into this kind of battle here. So we'll see how this goes.
I really like that. I mean, overall, the Tassadar is really strong in the start. In response, though, they're going to grab that Lucio Rhaegar. So, I mean, Rhaegar offering a decent amount of damage. Bloodlust is maybe the option. Ancestral is always good, though. That second health bar is kind of helpful.
I don't think the Lucio is really all that needed. I guess you're looking for, the speed boost here. I would have liked to have seen Rhaegar Tyrande picked up. I think that might have been a better match, because the Bloodlust on Tyrande could be absolutely nuts. But in comes the Lieutenant Morales and the Alexstrasza. Morales Stimdrone, they're looking at that Stimdrone Archon right here, right now. And then Alexstrasza, you're talking about that Dragon form, Dragon Queen Cleansing Flame. has a ton of damage. So it's just, you're looking for those pickoffs, really.
That's definitely, those are a lot of good points too. I mean, the Alexstrasza, good point control, Lieutenant Morales, that stim drone onto the Task Star, very powerful. I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, we're going to go into a ban phase, they're going to respond. No, we're going to go straight through this, and there is the Tyrande, but we're also going to be getting that Uther.
Uther for the stuns. I think that's all it is, really. Uther is for the stuns, Tyrande's for the damage. I'm surprised we haven't seen Kharazim. I'd really like to see Kharazim, honestly. I think Kharazim brings a lot of damage to the table. Mind you, his damage doesn't really kick off until, like, 16 is that huge power spike for damage Kharazim, but it gives you somebody who's able to take camps. It gives you somebody who can deal percent-based damage, which is going to be pretty difficult for some healers, but rather we're going to be seeing the Lily and the Malfurion coming out. And I did mention about Malfurion having a damage build. Let's see if we do pick that up, because you've got Morales isn't really going to provide you any damage. That is like your go-to healer is Morales, and then Alexstrasza is kind of there for extra healing. I'm imagining we're going to be seeing Water Dragon, Twilight Dream, the damage ultimates coming out here.
And I'm seeing it over in Twitch chat, and I was actually about to mention it myself. Medivh is fair for this. The rules have been set, and he is allowable, but wait, okay, hold on. All right, let's talk about this really quick, because this makes no sense. Why would you pick Fisty McPuncherson into a Lily who just sits there and will just blind you every time you get into a fight?
Fisty McPuncherson.
Kharazim, if you want to really be technically correct. But just, it's just one of those things. Like, I was looking at the Kharazim, and I was thinking, I was like, you can definitely pick up the Kharazim. The damage build is very strong. It would lend well into their composition. But the thing is, the Lily might mitigate so much of that, and that's the thing that I'm a little bit worried about. That oh god, I want to make sure I say the names right, so I have to scroll up. But it's Geeks of Gank. I was going to say Ganks of Geek. But we do have, Geeks of Gank. I think they've got a really strong draft here, and Trollin Blizz, they've got to respond to this in kind. But overall, let's get into this. On the left-hand side, we have Geeks of Gank with Bacon on the Alexstrasza, Tarly going to be playing that Lily, Fringe Average on the Lieutenant Morales, Sleepy Gary is on the Malfurion, and Scott will rounding it out on the Tassadar.
And on the right-hand side in the red is Trollin Blizz. We got Alebeard playing Kharazim, Guaz on the Lucio, Bags playing the Tyrande, Rosai on that Rhaegar. Rounding it all up, we have Mystic Shroud on the Uther. We see that 5-man rush from both teams right up to the Vision. We want to see what you're doing when you're doing it right now. And Uther comes out onto Bacon there with a big stun and another follow-up stun from Tyrande. It's like a wet noodle fight right now. Like, big damage. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's healed up. Oh, tickling them left and right. So
the one thing that we are going to be having coming out from a couple of these members are some questing talents at level 1. Granted, the Lieutenant Morales questing isn't the biggest thing on Earth, but it will be a nice benefit for their team. Now, the thing is, the Alexstrasza is going into that Flames of Fury at level 1, so that is going to be real beneficial for them. I do believe you get mana return from that, consistent hitting, as well as the damage buff that I think you get after the 20 stacks. Reduce Dragon
Reduced cooldown, yeah. So no mana return, but still, if you build E-build, that's damage, right? And that damage is what you're looking for on in a team like this. You're going to be trying to stack up as quickly as possible, as much as possible here. And it's the same thing with Tyrande. You're picking up those Owls, already sitting at 4 stacks, not horrendous. Especially because, Owl build was nerfed in the past. It was absolutely ridiculous in the past, but he's going to be looking for those stacks. And Rosai getting bullied off the camp right now, going to be giving it right over to the side of Geeks of Gank. And not going very well here for Trollin Blizz right off the bat, but a big root trying to deny the engage of Trollin Blizz. And Geeks of Gank going to make their way in, grab that camp, and make their way out.
That's a really good. That's a good grab for them, because it will delay out the members of Trollin Blizz for quite some time. Now the thing is, after that, I would have expected them to go onto their own siege camp, pick that up, and create more pressure, because there are the beacons that should be starting here in the next minute or so, and we're going to be getting into that point of the game where it's just you got to start getting some lane control. Otherwise, the strategy that you're going to be implementing here isn't going to be working out. you can't split their assets. If they can just sit and fight forever and there's no reason for them to leave, then this is going to be kind of like a moot, battle the entire time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for Geeks of Gank here to grab camps. They don't really have the #1 camp takers. I mean, Tassadar and I guess Alexstrasza, if you're hitting those flame buffets, are gonna be your best. But a lot of this is gonna be PvP for the most part for both of these teams. However, Monk and Rhaegar are really the camp takers on the side of Trollin Blizz, so they're going to want to use the ability that they have there to try and get as much of map control and lane control as they possibly can as these objectives begin to spawn in about 5 seconds from now.
And at this point, we do have them kind of trying to check them for a rotation here. Scott will get caught by Lucio. And overall, I think they're just trying to make sure that they don't miss out on too much of experience or realistically any sort of push that will be starting here. We do currently have the Alexstrasza getting knocked back into the team, and Bacon going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Going to get that healing circle out just fine, as there also will be 2 other healers consistently healing him right back up.
You say a decent amount of damage, rather, as he loses a third of his health and is instantly healed back up.
Exactly.
This is going to be a common trend among this game. We're really going to be looking for the big damage coming in at 10 when these huge combos come up. But a great boop there from Guaz onto Sleepy Gary, but Gary is able to make his way back into the fort. And Alexstrasza a little slow on those quests, only sitting at 9 right now. Need to get that quest stacked ASAP, Rocky, but big pick there onto the Alexstrasza. Talking about Alex there. Goes down. First blood going over to the side of Trollin Blizz as level 7 is reached for them. Tassadar, I believe, was in the bottom lane for a little bit of that too, and to the bottom lane he will go back.
They'll be pushing that up, making sure that they soak up a little bit more. They don't want to give over too much of an experience gap at this time, but that 1 kill is going to start that gap forming. And at the same time, we saw a pretty dominant hold over that last temple from the members of Trollin Blizz. So I'm curious to see, as we get into this game later and later, if their control over these shrines will be stronger, or if it's going to be one of those things that once 10 hits, it's just completely flipped and Geeks of Gank will get exactly what they need in their kits.
Yeah, I think it's really gonna depend on 10 here. I mean, Divine Storm gives a huge crowd control to the side of Trollin Blizz, but so does Twilight Dream. It's really gonna kind of flip the tide here. And we see Uther holding that level 7 talent, debating on whether or not we want to pick up Cleanse. Not too much crowd control on the opposing team other than the Malfurion roots. So opting, there we go. No Cleanse coming out from Uther. So they're going to try and play it safe, and as they try to grab their siege camp. And we do have 3 members of Geeks of Gank there trying to go in for the gank. And Tyrande coming back in, looking to auto attack down Scott, as Scott is healed back up. And they're all just going to kind of throw those heals onto each other and look to capture that and make their way back into the healing well and back into the lanes that apply more pressure. Soak until level 10 has been reached. And it's just around the corner now for Geeks of Gank.
And it looks like, yeah, they are just about a half level difference. Now, if they can get this, this will definitely be one of those situations where Trollin Blizz are going to have to kind of just patiently wait till they have 10s. They realistically can't take this next temple fight because it is a single temple. Typically, we will see the entire team on that point, and having all those heroic abilities available will be big for them. But to kind of make it a little difficult for the members of Geeks of Gank, Trollin Blizz went ahead and picked up this camp in the top lane. So it will create some pressure, and I think Lily will be staying there as we do see the rest of the team rotating down.
Yeah, level 10 now reached, though, for the side of Geeks of Gank, and this is really where you're going to be looking for them to try and take control of the match. You know, they're going to have to use those ultimates on cooldown, I think. If you want to win these team fights, you're going to be needing to pop that Archon, that Twilight Dream, and something that I think is very interesting here is the Jugs pickup. So everybody going for offensive, and then the 1 support ultimate coming out in the form of Lily. I guess it could theoretically be the shortest of all the cooldowns, but I do think Water Dragon might have lent itself a little bit better. But level 10 now being reached for Trollin Blizz as they do look to try and pick up the Tassadar. And now Bacon getting body blocked, but out comes the Bloodlust, the Cleansing Flame to get away. The big Twilight Dream. 5-man silence, a ton of damage. Cleansing Flame going to pick up the Lucio, and the Alexstrasza in the backline trying to get that wing buffet. And Uther says no, not happening. Down goes the dragon, and we trade 1 for 1 here.
I used E is exactly right. It looks like the member was trying to get that knockback into the friendly team. Does not work out, and we actually are going to be losing the Malfurion here as well. Scott going to be having to use that phase shift to make sure he gets out, but Fringe Average taking a little bit of damage there with that Tyrande bird that did come out, and overall trading a lot of blows and getting that kill is big for them, but at the same time they are very low on mana in this situation, so they might need to back off a couple members just to go back and get full here.
Yeah, I like the play that Bacon tried to make there. Just, you know, zoom into the back line. It's like a mini gust coming out. You know, Falstad is not here, but he's here in spirit. Unfortunately, not going to pan out for there. And just trading that 1 for 1 ends up becoming a 1 for 2. And now you end up still being ahead in EXP, but you have to give up the remaining of that temple and, you know, just kind of return to lanes. And look how far that camp pushed in the top lane. It's already gotten half of the towers there. And that's a lot of value. And trying to leave Lily up to clear it is not necessarily the best wave clear. So, yeah.
It's one of those situations where they definitely pulling this camp right before the temple was exactly what they need to do on the side of Troll and Blizz. They created that top lane pressure where Lily had to stay up there the entire time, and they were down a member during that entire fight. So that is why it did start to go very in favor for Troll and Blizz towards that later half, because they did have all 5 members for that fight readily available, while Tarnley was in that top needing to clear out that camp before it did too much. And, well, Lily doesn't have the best wave clear on Earth, so at this time we do have this camp being picked up for the members of Geeks of Gank just to try and create some pressure themselves.
Yeah, now you got Rhaegar and Kerosene to try and clear that out, but they look for that stun. There comes the Divine Storm and the follow-up damage. Tarly barely surviving with the jugs here. A ton of healing coming out, and 4 members still trying to take him down. Out comes that 7-sided strike. Finally gonna be able to wipe out the Panda. Wow. What? I'm surprised she lived that long there, as 4 members, I believe, were trying to take him down, and took him a lot longer than you would have expect. Props to the Jugs pick there, keeping him alive.
That is the quintessential meme, just cup of 1,000 nopes. You know, you pop that, and there are 1,000 kills that you will not get because, as you can see, 4 members is just not enough to get that kill because of the healing that comes out from it. Great pickup in that 20 or that 10 slot for that hero. Worked out really well for them here. We'll see if that actually pans out into the later half of the game. We do have a fight breaking out here. Scott going to get stunned out. Will pop the Archon. Going to turn around, take a little bit of a fight under their own tower here, as they do have some members split across the map. Lieutenant Morales is in bottom, Rhaegar on top, so they do want to take this fight a little bit further. Healing Circle coming out from Alexstrasza. Root goes down. Tyrande, Bags is going to be taking quite a bit of damage. There's the silence as well. They're trying to get this kill, but it is not working out for them as they chase them so deep. Moonfire coming out as well, and they do not get the kill. They just chase them across the map.
I love watching these heroes' health bars. They go down, they go down, they go down. Oh, no, now they're back up. And you saw it there with Tassar. As soon as he popped Archon, his health went from about 1/3 up to full. And they completely turned that fight around thanks to Archon. And that is the power of Archon. We got Mystic Shroud looking to walk right into the middle of the fight. Out comes that, God, I can't even remember it now. I've been saying it all the time. But Divine Storm, and out comes the Jugs, the Cleansing Flame as well. Tassar are the only member to fall so far. A ton of damage coming out onto Sleepy Gary there. Malfurion healing himself up, does end up getting stunned, will fall. And this is going to force Geeks of Gank out. Looking for the wing buffet there of Alexstrasza to try and delay the engage there. And they're going to be able to finish off that bottom shrine and now make their way potentially into an invade here on the camp, looking to pick up that Alexstrasza as well.
They do get a couple grabs onto some of these members. Bacon, separated from the team, will rotate towards the tower, but definitely will be able to steal this away. And I was actually a little bit surprised. They had the 2 members dead. I thought they would take an aggressive rotation onto the boss, but I really like grabbing the siege camp away from the enemy team. Geeks of Gank won't have that push in their lane, and they can go ahead, rotate Alebeard, maybe a couple members over, grab their own siege camp, can keep some consistent pressure in these lanes, as then they probably will be able to rotate, get this top lane pick onto this tower, and really start to, their own tower, just push back their top lane tower, make sure that they can try and save that before the wave crashes into it.
I think grabbing boss there might have been a Was somebody getting low there?
No,
I think
was
boss.
waiting for the tower. I was unfortunately I didn't get to save it in time.
I think grabbing boss there would have been a huge mistake. You know the opposing team has the damage to take a siege camp, but they're kind of lacking the damage on the boss. So, you have the damage to take the boss. Going in there is an aggressive play, yes, but you have a lot to lose. You didn't have level 16 yet. Now you do. This is where you're going to be looking for the team fights. Maybe an aggressive play on the boss. Dragon Queen could have been up. So you never know if that wing buffet's going to come in and just deny you a boss cap. They're going to play it safe. I think grabbing the siege camp is the correct call there. And now they're going to be making their way up to the top lane and grabbing this camp here too.
I do believe they actually had 2 members dead on the side of Geeks of Gank. That's why I was thinking. I think it was actually the Alex Strauss and Malfurion dead.
Oh,
if I'm remembering right. Yes, that's why I was like, maybe. But it looks like Scott at this point is going to get chased down. Lucio going to use that speed boost trying to chase this. Just gets that shield on himself, and we'll just kind of auto attack, heal up a little bit. And overall, this is going to be the top grabbed over for the members of Trollin Blizz. And realistically, they got to play their game as actually 16s are achieved for both teams here.
Yeah, level 16 achieved now for both teams, and you're going to be looking for the fight here, I would imagine. But it looks like they're going to kind of play it safe, grab the middle shrine, the middle temple here. Just get some free poke damage on a keep now. Both teams are having their keeps attacked, and the top wave still has a camp pushing in, so you're going to see Scott go back and try and deal with that. As Uther and Lucio are looking to potentially try and cut him off from engaging in on his team. A Holy Shock going out, a little bit of damage. Uther taking the Tassadar down to about half health, but he will be able to potentially heal himself up. Thanks to his level 4 talent and a couple of auto attacks. But we do have Trollin Blizz making their way into the middle, and Geeks of Gank will surrender this tower, playing it safe, and just kind of give it up. But out comes the dragon, and the fight will now ensue.
There is the Stim Drone onto the Tassadar, and they actually get the Bloodlust at the same time. There is also the knockback from the Alexstrasza. She will go into the Cleansing Flame. We actually have the Tassadar falling very early, and Cups is being used at the exact same time. They're not able to get any kills just yet, but now that the Alexstrasza is back down, they don't have that healing and that damage. They're going to chase a little bit further here. Tassadar still being dead. They actually get another healing circle, knockback onto some of the team, but there was the flank from the Lucio. Going to get some damage out, but unfortunately it's not going to be any sort of life-threatening damage, but they need, on the side of Trollin Blizz, to back off. They need to clear their bottom lane. They need to clear their mid lane. There's definitely a lot of experience that they can grab here, create some pressure, get closer to 20, and definitely take an aggressive advantage in this game.
Yeah, getting that one pick there onto the Tassadar, not losing too much other than a little bit of mana. Make your way back into the lanes, get that soak. You guys are just around the corner from level 20. You know, you've got a 2 or a level and a bit advantage. You know, you need to play your strengths, which is capturing camps, applying a little bit of wave clear and some lane pressure. And then if you're feeling, you know, really feisty, make your way in for a boss after a pick. And, you know, just play this bottom lane. This will be Trollin Blizz's strongest lane for them, as they have the wave clear and they have the lane pressure that they can apply down there. And if they get a pick, this could be game.
This is one of those situations we're getting later into this game. We're at that 16-minute mark. The death timers are getting quite long, so a pick or two here could be, you know, a keep, could be a core. We're getting to that point where these fights are really going to start becoming very, very impactful. And it looks like on the side of Trollin Blizz, they want to make sure that they have 20s, I think. So they're kind of staying on their side of the map, just rotating around, getting these clears. And with this next shrine being a single one and just about 19s achieved for Trollin Blizz, I'd be kind of wanting to play the safe if I was on the side of Geeks of Gank.
Yeah, this tower location, the temple location rather, works out better for Trollin Blizz than it does for Geeks of Gank, because this will shoot the top keep, I believe, for both sides. And the top keep has already taken damage on the side of Geeks of Gank. So if Trollin Blizz is able to take control of this, they're going to secure that top keep, while the damage of Geeks of Gank is going to go into the towers before it goes into the keep, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, I like what they're doing here. They want to take this because they know that they can't go over the shrine because it's 19 and a half. So they know this, and they back off. The members of Trollin Blizz, though, are like, whoa, you have to come fight us at the temple. All right, well, we'll fight you at boss. And they're kind of postulating. You can see the Rhaegar staying in the top a little bit, soaking, going to go back and forth. But once they see that start, I do think that these members are going to try and get onto this boss once again.
The tickle damage, it's like nothing, but down goes the Alex Straza, and this will mean that you have to kind of back off this, I think you have to back off this boss. You know, you don't have that extra member. You do have Rhaegar in the top, and you know at least one member is up there, but they have a member that they can send down just in case. You can give up those temple shots, grab a boss, and then make your way back up to the temple later. But they're going to play it safe. You don't really have the damage for this boss. And just go into the temple up top. You already got that keep. You've got half of the middle keep here. And now Malfurion's going to be engaged upon by the Kharazim as Rosai looks to back off, get a little bit of healing in here first. He's got plenty of members to help him out. And they're just going to kind of continue to push out the lanes, maybe grab a couple of camps when they're back up, and apply some pressure somewhere else.
Tassadar was a little far forward, and you can kind of see them rotating quick here, and I think they're trying to get him in this rotation, so Lucio is going to be able to get the speed boost. They do. He does get the dismount, but he still has that boost of speed. Now Toronto going to get a bird out as well. They're going to, nope, they're going to back right off because the rest of the team does come down the death bridge, and they don't want to lose a member here, especially with that 20 advantage. This is that situation where you want to force a fight, but you want to force a smart fight, because you can still lose even without having, even with 20 advantage, you can still lose this team fight.
Yeah, so it's a very smart play to not engage. It does look like almost a free kill, but here's a free kill pretty much. Scott walking into the middle of all 5 members. Great stun, follow-up stun from the Tyrande Bags, hitting the mark right on the nose. Going to be able to pick that up. And then they're just going to walk in, take this fort for free, or the keep rather. Apply a little bit of damage here with that Starfall, and then just back out. Maybe move into the boss here. You don't have Tassadar, who has vision, and you definitely have the speed to clear this with Kharazim and Rhaegar.
So they'll be able to go ahead and get the clear onto this very quickly. That's going to be pushing down the only lane with a keep still, but they know that they have this because, one, the team needs to clear mid lane that was just pushed up, top lane that is just now crashing. You can also see that they're there. So there's a lot of good factors on the side of Trollin Blizz. Right now, this is their game. They've got the good momentum in their favor. They've got good map control. The temples are going to activate in the next 20 seconds. It's 2 of them. If they can control both, while the rest of the team, while the enemy team is dealing with this boss, this could just be game ending without even them having to hit the core once.
Yeah, you just need to grab both of these temples, let the boss kind of wail away at the bottom walls. That'll save a couple of shots for you. You know, even if this boss only makes it halfway through that keep, you're guaranteed a ton of damage onto the core. I'm looking at maybe 50% right now if you control both of these shrines, and you have all 5 members of Geeks of Gank down here trying to kill this boss. As it's gonna just, this bottom keep is getting absolutely shredded from both temples and the boss, and it's gonna be making its way onto the core. I don't think it's gonna get too much, but Geeks of Gank kind of gonna cut their losses, make their way into the middle, and try to deny as much of this temple as you can see. And just an owl coming out, Fringe taking a chunk of damage, but bottom shrine, or temple rather, will clean it up, and game number 1 will go over to the side of Trollin Blizz.
That was such a good controlled ending for those members. I mean, the way that they went ahead, they got the boss, they got a lot of good picks. That, all they needed was that one Tassadar. With that, they had so much good pressure. They had the catapults in top that they had to respond to. There was that mid lane push that they just had, were just doing. So amazing plays from Trollin Blizz. I really got to say, they came out in a very dominating fashion for this game, and I'm really excited to see how Geeks of Gank are going to respond in this next matchup, because we are going to be also setting up the next game. I don't know how quickly, but either way, we are going to be doing Horde versus Alliance, and we're going to be doing it on Battlefield of Eternity. And I think Daz said it very, very perfectly. How fitting of a theme on that map too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to have Angels versus Demons, Horde versus Alliance. I think this is going to be a great game, a great map. It's just so thematic, right? I'm expecting to see some great, maybe a little bit of, something from, just pocket picking, or, maybe just something that's not really, pulled out from underneath the rug kind of thing. And, just a sneaky pick. I'm hoping to see a sneaky pick that will come out here. But before we get over into the next game, we do have another giveaway. We're going to be looking for a Maiev. We're going to be giving away Maiev and another Xenotech Abathur. We're going to be looking for the code hashtag Bacon Needs Healing. So type that into chat there, friends, and you guys have a chance to win Maiev and Xenotech Abathur. Great skin, totally busted hero. So look to grab those for the taken, and that's courtesy of Blizzard. And yeah, so we'll be getting back soon.
Let's really quickly just look at the idea of like Horde and Alliance. Like I'm too excited about what we're going to be getting into here between these two teams and their setups.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes, because as I was saying, there's a lot of like, you could flip it, like Dreadnought Jaina or whatever, Death Knight Jaina essentially, right? That flips it. That's an Alliance hero gone theoretically Horde.
Very much so. Yeah. And you can also
Arthas, who's Horde, into Crown Prince Arthas, Alliance, right? You've got a whole bunch of different heroes that have been brought in. You could have Sergeant Hammer as Doomhammer. Sergeant Hammer, that's Horde, right? There's so many possibilities here.
I was about to also mention Sonya, Death Knight Sonya, right there.
You go.
I mean, and I believe Zagara as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that one's a stretch, because I feel it's Tomb of the Spider Queen base skin, I think. But I know
it was like Horde, but yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's what, because
Spider Zag is totally Horde.
Excuse me.
Spider Zag is totally Horde, says Liquid there.
Oh wait, am I not getting the messages anymore? Apparently. No, I'm not. I'm not getting the messages anymore for that one chat because it. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I haven't gotten messages in a while. I don't know if it put me into a different chat. I have to figure that out here in a second. But yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll go to break and we'll figure it out. We'll be back with you guys very, very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Just remember, Bacon Needs Healing in the chat there for Maiev and Xenotech Abathur. We'll see you guys shortly.